Major scandal in Washington, D.C. Attorney General Jeff Sessions caught obstructing POTUS by Margaret Potts for USA Politics Today. FBI informant William D. Campbell revealed that he has proof that connects former Secretary of State and President Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama to the scandalous Uranium One deal. Freedom Daily reported that during testimony last week, Sessions tried to suggest there was no connection between Uranium One and the nuclear bribery case. He argued that the criminal charges weren't filed until 2014, while the Committee of Foreign Investment in the United States, CFIUS, approval of the Uranium One sale occurred in October 2010, The Hill reports. For instance, both Attorney General Jeff Sessions in testimony last week and Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein in a letter to the Senate last month tried to suggest there was no connection between Uranium One and the nuclear bribery case. Their argument was that the criminal charges weren't filed until 2014, while the Committee of Foreign Investments in the United States, CFIUS, approval of the Uranium One sale occurred in October of 2010. The way I understand that matter is that the case in which Mr. Mikarin was convicted was not connected to CFIUS problem, the CFIUS problem that occurred 2 to 3 years before. Sessions testified to the House Judiciary Committee last week, echoing Rosenstein's letter from a few weeks earlier. But an investigative records show FBI counterintelligence recorded the first illicit payment in the bribery/kickback scheme in November of 2009, a year before the CFIUS approval. Sessions testified in front of the House Judiciary Committee, and he said President Donald Trump warned Jeff Sessions and the whole Department of Justice, saying that unless the Attorney General does not decide to prosecute Clinton, he will be forced to step in and take drastic measures. On this, Trump told the reporters. A lot of people are disappointed in the Justice Department, including me. He also wrote on Twitter after the revelation of Donna Brazile that Clinton's campaign was controlling DNC operations and fundraising before she won the primary. This is real collusion and dishonesty, major violation of campaign finance laws and money laundering. Where is our Justice Department? People are angry. At some point, the Justice Department and the FBI must do what is right and proper. The American public deserves it. The saddest thing is, because I'm the President of the United States, I'm not supposed to be involved in the Justice Department. I'm not supposed to be involved in the FBI. I'm not supposed to be doing the kinds of things I would love to be doing, and I'm very frustrated by it. These are some of the many things Trump said regarding the criminal deeds of Clinton and the passiveness of Jeff Sessions. Listen, they're all corrupt. Jeff Sessions and Rosenstein and McCabe and all of them, Mueller, they're all involved in this. How you expect prosecutions to come? When what's Chuck Grassley going to do? Like you know what I'm saying? It's like enough is enough already. He's saying that, no, that has nothing to do with the other. I mean, where's the Justice Department is right to tell him, excuse me, it has everything to do with it. Not let him get away with this. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. And again, thank you so much for watching.
A spokesperson for the Justice Department says there's no need for a special counsel to investigate Hillary Clinton. Speaking on Fox and Friends this morning, Sarah Flores said there is no conflict of interest or other extraordinary circumstances that would prevent the DOJ from probing the Uranium One deal and other Clinton scandals. Attorney General Sessions has ordered prosecutors to review the case and determine whether a special counsel is needed. Joining me now is Judicial Watch's head of investigations and research, Chris Farrell. Chris, I see conflicts of interest within the Justice Department based on what they have done with political investigations over the past 6 or 7 years, don't you?
Indeed. In fact, there's, you'll remember Sally Yates, the acting attorney general.
Sure.
there's an entire army of Sally Yateses occupying headquarters, Department of Justice. But that doesn't mean that there aren't entirely competent, capable, ethically honest, even philosophically conservative U.S. attorneys that would still be available as, regular Department of Justice prosecutors to go after the whole Clinton Foundation. It's a criminal enterprise, right? This is not just, some wayward actors. This is literally 2 decades of corruption manifest in the Clinton Foundation, and then their dealings like Uranium One and other things.
All right, but even if you find an Elliot Ness, for lack of a better comparison, within the Justice Department willing to investigate Hillary Clinton, he has to rely on a group of bureaucrats within the Justice Department who were helping people like Holder, like Loretta Lynch, like FBI Chief Comey. I mean, the bureaucracy that's going to be working with a crusader, such as the person we're talking about, would still be imbued with that spirit that has held up real investigation of Democrats.
Well, I'd rather rely upon the judgment of Attorney General Sessions than abdicate entirely and turn it over to a Mueller, right? I mean, that's really the choice. Do you want another out-of-control, independent witch hunt chieftain like Mueller doing whatever he wants, whenever he wants, answerable to virtually no one? Or do you want the regular, normal process that has worked for more than 200 years to take place and have that prosecutor answer to Attorney General Sessions? I would prefer the regular chain of command and the normal procedure and trust in the Attorney General than have another Mueller mini-me running around doing whatever he wants. we have a horrible track record historically with special counsels. Yeah. Horrible. And I don't want to go there again.
All right. Let me just say to you what I said to the congressman earlier. We don't know absolutely whether or not Mueller is looking. By the way, you say Mueller, I say Mueller. But we don't know whether or not he's looking into the Hillary scandals, whether it's Uranium One or the Fusion GPS story. He may be at some point. As far as we can tell, he's not, because the people who would be contacted have not been, as far as we can tell. But we also don't know whether the Justice Department is investigating these things, do we? They may be doing that right now.
They may. But look, if you want to examine priority of effort, and if you look at Mueller, he was busy having a no-knock warrant to go into Manafort's house at, pre-dawn hours.
Right.
So that's what he's spending his time and energy and effort doing. He indicts a guy over business dealings that have nothing to do with the purported Russia hysteria with respect to the Trump campaign. They don't like that he spent as much money as he has on his suits, right? There's this disproportionate, out-of-whack behavior. Right. And if you look at what he's spending his time and effort on, it sure is not $143 million to the Clinton Foundation, $500,000 speaking fee to Bill Clinton. I mean, he's so far off the mark. You want to look for Russian collusion, whatever that means. Go look at the Clinton Foundation.
I'll tell you what it means.
The problem with Mueller.
What Russian collusion means is when a political party in the United States relies on research from a smear group that is provided to them by friends of Vladimir Putin. And that's exactly what happened in the case of Fusion GPS.
Correct. The Fusion GPS isn't an opposition research firm. It's an opposition manufacturing firm. Right? They created stuff out of nothing. And then, surprise, surprise, guess who was paying for it? Hillary Clinton.
And we know that she controlled the finances of the DNC, thanks to Donna Brazile.
Correct.
But the point is, will there be any enthusiasm within this Justice Department to take on the Clinton machine as nobody else ever has?
Yeah, I mean, you can find the right guy, and it doesn't require some extraordinary, out-of-bounds, loose cannon Mueller tactics. You can go and within the Department of Justice find a U.S. attorney. He may not be sitting in Washington at this moment, but he may be some other place in the country. You bring him in, and you bring in a team of FBI agents and other federal law enforcement officers at a Treasury and elsewhere, and you create a little task force, and you say, go forth and investigate. And you do it under the normal process, and they answer to the Attorney General. And contrary to a lot of double talk you see on television, guess what? The Department of Justice works for the President of the United States, and they serve at his pleasure. So all this idea that somehow they're independent or they do whatever they want is absolute nonsense. They are members of the executive branch, and the chief executive of the United States is Donald Trump. So in the end, although he's had on-again, off-again results with this, in the end, they're answerable to him.
Chris
That's
Farrell.
the guy who's in charge, whether you like it or not.
We got to leave it at that. Chris, have a great weekend. Thank you for joining us. Appreciate it.